sorry to interrupt, Mr. Ashley. Obviously, new manager, Newcastle. Just wondering if I could get a little bit more money. You know, I'm struggling transfer window, so could I have a tiny bit? That'd be fantastic. Right. Okay. I'll leave it with you for about a few hours, maybe a day or so. Let you think it through, and then I'll come back. I'm sure you'll be here, Mike. I'm sure you'll be here. I'll come and see you when you're most definitely going to be here in about a day's time. I'll see you later. I'll shut the door on my way out. Mikey, I'm here. What? You're fired! So, Newcastle United, they're immediately a lot more interested in going into the new football manager. But before we do this little experiment, make sure if you're enjoying these sort of videos, you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted when these videos are released. There's going to be plenty more, so you do not want to miss any of them. So in this experiment, we are going to simulate at the end of the first season, the 5th season, and the 10 seasons, leaving Newcastle to do what they want. We're not going to have any influence. They're going to hire their own manager, and we're going to see if Newcastle end up being an absolute powerhouse in the footballing world. As you can see, they are currently have no manager. So no manager is in charge of Newcastle. Obviously, with the likes of Conte, Rodgers, and I believe Steven Gerrard are currently rumoured in real life. Will FM get one of them, or will it go completely off the rails and go someone that we never expected? We'll have to wait and see. But so far, I don't think they've made any transfers. They haven't. So no transfers are made. They have £200 million to spend at the start of any save with Newcastle. So how are they going to spend that 200 million? We're going to find out. So we're going to go to the end of the first season and see if they go as mental as all the FM players that are currently managing Newcastle. Will they spend it all, or will they stick with their current first team squad? We're going to go and find out. And at the end of the first season, Newcastle were predicted to finish in 9th place at the start of the year. Let's see where they've actually finished. Now, I'm very curious to see if they've actually brought in any big name players. It doesn't say their key player currently on the overview screen. And Newcastle have finished in 15th place. Wow, right, okay. So, very disappointing season for Newcastle, getting nowhere near their predicted position in the Premier League. Who is their manager? It's Joachim Löw. Wow, okay then. So he has been poached from Germany, I believe it was. Yeah, so Newcastle decided to hire the previous Germany manager, and he's absolutely spectacular, it must be said. But a very disappointing season for Joachim here. But most importantly, who did they bring in? What transfers did they make? And they spent £96 million in their first season. They brought no one in January, but they went absolutely off the rails before the start of the season. The first name is Jamie Sowan. I'm so sorry, Jamie. I can only apologise. He is a centre mid, and they bought him for how much was it? 1.3 million, and he's worth between 14.5, sorry, and 44 million pounds. So very good business from Newcastle, it must be said. Did he play regularly? 36 games for Newcastle, not too bad. Davy Klassen from Ajax, I believe he is a centre mid as well. He is 29 years old. Also estimated to be between 23 and 68 million pounds. So all the players so far that Newcastle have bought have got a better value than what Newcastle bought them for. Gonzalo Higuain going from USA all the way to Newcastle. I mean, Higuain must have a lot of love for Newcastle. Blimey. 34-year-old with an absolutely fantastic beard, it must be said. Only 9 goals in 33. Actually played quite a lot of games, which I am surprised about. I didn't think that Higuain will be playing that regularly, if I'm honest. He's still very good, but you'd expect Newcastle to go out and get a big name. Raul Albiol. Raul Albiol. Is that how you say it? I believe that's how you say it. Or Newcastle just getting like a retirement home worth of players at this point. Raul Albion is like 35 or something ridiculous. 36 years old. How many games did he play? 29 games. He did have a decent rating though, a 7.01 rating, buying him from Villarreal. And now the next player is Renan Lodi. 2 players from Atletico Madrid for a combined £49.5 million. Kieran Trippier coming back to the Premier League as well. Renan Lodi coming in on left back. Once again, very, very good value. Did he have a good season? He had an okay season for £25 million. You'd probably expect him to have a better rating than 6.95. But an overall okay rating. Only 1 assist though. Pretty disappointing for him. Then Kieran Trippier. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. He's ready to party. Here he comes. Big Kieran, 31 years old, £24.5 million, 35 games played and only 2 assists. I mean, they spent a lot of money, but I can't help but feel like they probably could have spent it a little bit better. I'm surprised they didn't get anyone in January, if I'm honest. I would have thought that if they're struggling in the Premier League, they would have just gone out and bought loads of players. Out of curiosity, actually, is Joachim Low the only manager they've had? Obviously, I went in and retired myself because I was originally going to start that. So ignore me there. But Joachim Low is the only manager that they've had in charge. Will he keep his job? I think that's going to be the most interesting thing, because the board are probably very, very disappointed with that positional finish. Now, who went out? I mean, they only sold 9 million. It's not like they need money, is it? Let's be honest. Who was the biggest out? It was Joe Linton for £3.1 million. I mean, how much did they buy it for? I mean, let's ignore that. I'm sorry, Newcastle fans. I'm so sorry. I'm going to ignore that. I would say that's a pretty underwhelming season for Newcastle. Obviously, they've got 9 more years to show that they can use money wisely, or they're just going to fade into mediocrity. We're going to have to wait and see. But at the end of the first season, feel free to put in the comment section, how would you rate their first transfer window? For me, I'm pretty disappointed. But now, we're going to give them plenty of time. 4 more years. We're going to go over to the end of Season 5. Have they improved? We're going to have to wait and see. Let's go over Season 5. So after an initial poor season for Newcastle, where they did spend quite a bit of money and didn't really improve their position in the Premier League, and the players they brought in were quite underwhelming. I feel like they didn't bring in a so-called big name. But I'm glad to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that Newcastle decided to spend a ridiculous amount of money. As you can see from the graph, it is literally like a mountain. It slowly goes up and then falls back down. In the second season, they spent more than double what they did in the previous season, £182 million. And then in the third year, they go absolutely off the rails by spending of upwards, I think that's 260 million. So yeah, Newcastle, they definitely know they have money, but what sort of players have they spent that money on? So we're going to have a look at the second season, and then we're going to go through the rest of the seasons, and then we'll go to 10 seasons in the future. So in the second season, they definitely brought in some better caliber players, the likes of Sayuncu from Leicester, Iheanacho coming in, so 2 players from Leicester. They brought in Viktor Tskankov for £46 million from Dynamo Kiev. Out of curiosity, are all of these still at Newcastle? They are. So Victor's still there at the age of 28. So Yunchu's still there at the age of 30 years old. A value of 116, well, between 39 million and 116 million there. Newcastle, I mean, you're not going to get 116 million. Sorry, Yunchu. They brought in Dominik Livakovic from Dynamo. I can't really say I've recognised the game. He's a goalkeeper. So Dubravka and the other goalkeeper that they got, I'm so sorry, being replaced by Livakovic, 31. He's not for sale either. Very important player. Then Julian Weigl from Benfica. Now, this name I do know. 30-year-old German. Still in Newcastle as well. I mean, I suppose it's only a few years ago, right? But a lot of loyalty from some of these players. I don't want to say they're in it for the money, but I'm assuming their contracts are pretty ridiculous. We have a look at Sayuncu. What's his contract? 160k. What about Iheanacho's contract? 86k. Victor's is 87k. So Soyuncu looks like he's on the most money, unless Julian absolutely blows us out the water, 140k. So definitely spend a lot of money on wages as well. I can only assume that Soyuncu and Julian Weigl being the top earners at the club in the second season. I don't think there's any players currently at Newcastle that have more than 100k. I'm not 100% sure on that. But a second season, definitely better than the first, right? I mean, for 182 million spent, you definitely expect it. Where did they finish in at the end of the second season? This is what we want to know. So at the end of the second season, they finished in 8th place, so definitely an improvement. Did they get into Europe? I'm not too sure if that's European spots. It's not, so just outside Europe. Did they win anything in that year? That's what we want to see. Did they win anything? So in the second season, did they win any trophy? They didn't, so they had a pretty poor end to the year, actually. A really poor end of the year, only getting 3 wins in 3 months. Very, very poor from Newcastle. What about the third year? So this is where they spent the most money. Absolutely ridiculous. 260 million pounds. Holy smokes. A ridiculous amount. Who was the biggest player that they brought in? Samuel Chukwueze from Villarreal, 71 million pounds. Frimpong for 59. Origi for 43 million. I mean, whoever's Origi's agent is, he definitely needs a pay rise. How that Newcastle? What are you doing? 43 million pounds for Origi. Blimey. Reece Nelson from Arsenal. Gabriel Barbosa. I mean, that is a cracking signing. 40 million pounds. That is definitely a bargain, and he's still very, very good. 29 as well. It feels weird seeing Barbosa slowly age, considering that a few years ago he was the 17, 18. I used to get him on every save, right, to make sure he absolutely bagged goals. And I'm assuming some of these are, I mean, some weird signings here. Ethan, Pablo Garcia, some very interesting players. Is Samuel still there? I mean, he is world class. Jeremy Frimpong, 59 million. I mean, they are definitely improving the caliber of players that they're getting in. Where did they finish at the end of the third year? Did they improve? They finished 12th, so they actually didn't do any better. Spending of upwards of 400 million in 2 years, finishing in 8th and 12th. I mean, it's not great, is it? It's not brilliant, it must be said. After all that money as well, you'd expect a little bit more from them, I feel like, but you know, they've got the money to spend, so no doubt they spend a lot more. I mean, the next season they don't spend as much. Only, what's that about? I'll say only. It's 130 million in the 4th year here at Newcastle. So let's have a look at who they brought in at the end of the 4th year, or at the start of the 4th year. So 123 million pounds spent. Who was the biggest signing? 57 million pounds. Francisco Conceição from Norwich. They brought in Jamie Shackleton from Leeds. You love to see it. Still at Newcastle once again. He is unbelievable. Fair play to him. How good is Francesco? 23 years old, so he's going to be there for quite a while, and he's very, very good. How did he get on in his first season? 12 goals and 7 assists in his first season at Newcastle. Relatively decent. What about Jamie Shackleton? How did he get on? He got 1 goal and 2 assists in his first season, playing 2 seasons as well. Both seasons, 38 games played, so Mr. Consistent right there. They then brought in Alex Scott from Bristol City, Francis Coquelin from Villarreal, and Tony. I mean, oh my God, he's a ridiculous region. 21 years old, Tony. I mean, he's going to be very good in a few years' time. And then Antonio Jesse Canete, another regen. We're going to see a lot of regens, I feel like, coming through over the next few years. Gaz Brady from Birmingham and Diego Matos is another regen. Out of curiosity, I wonder what their facilities are looking like. They've got adequate academy coaching, good youth recruitment, state-of-the-art youth facilities, and superb training facilities. I mean, they've definitely improved, but the adequate academy coaching, I can only assume they're trying to improve that. So let's go to the final year that we're going to show. It's going to be 25-26 season. So obviously this is at the start of this year. So who did they bring in? Only 54 million pounds spent this year. Luca Netz coming in from Gladbach for 45 million. 23 years old. I mean, he's pretty decent. Some of these names I haven't heard of. I don't know if they're wonder kids, potentially. I'm not 100% sure. Lorenzo Parola coming in for 2 million. Alex Escobar regen as well, and Bry Ramon coming in. So a lot of regens, a lot of younger players coming in as well. Now, where did they finish last year? They finished in 7th place. So an improvement, their the best finish so far. But this year, ladies and gentlemen, they finished in 6th place. Congratulations, Newcastle. They finished in Europe. Come on, you love to see it. They've actually finished in Europe. They've got, is this the Euro Cup? It is the Euro Cup. So can they go one step further and get themselves in the Champions League? They're so close. I feel like, considering the players that they've got in, they've got a very, very good team. I mean, if you look at their first team, I mean, that is pretty... They're playing Alex Scott for whatever reason. But they've got a really good, really good first team. St. Maximan's still there. I mean, who are they going to get in? You know, it's a good finish at the end of this year. They're going to get quite a bit of money from Europe as well. So are they going to get any other big names? Obviously, we're going to be focusing towards the regens now. There's probably going to be a lot of regens coming in, so some of these we probably won't know. So we're going to be focusing on how they actually get on over the next few years. So we're going to go 10 years in the future now, ladies and gentlemen. 10 massive years. Can they win the Premier League? That is the ultimate question. Can they win the Premier League? Can they win the Champions League? Can they win a trophy? They haven't won anything, I don't think, up to this point. If we have a quick look, they haven't even got to a final, I don't think. They were runner-up in the Carabao Cup in 2025, so only one runner-up, not even a medal yet. Disappointing from Newcastle, but they've got 5 more years. Let's see how they get on. Okay, we're 10 years in, but before we go over to the game, let me know in the comment section below, do you think Newcastle have won a Premier League? Do you think they've won any trophy? And what trophy do you think that is? Let's see if anyone has faith in Newcastle. And why not? Why not have a prediction on who you think the manager is? Because I have no idea who the manager is at this point. This is the first time I'm going to see it. So, in comment section, make sure you put something. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look at how Newcastle have got on. We're going to see where they finished initially. They finished 2nd in the Premier League. No. Oh, as if they got that close. I mean, they finished in the Champions League. I mean, they could have won the Premier League before that. The fact they're finishing 2nd makes me think they potentially have. Thankfully, it doesn't show us where they finished in the past few years. We're going to go over to their transfers first. So this is the last 5 years. Of course, the year that we left you was the year 25-26. So for the next year, they're spending over 100 million every transfer window now. The year that we left you, they spent 191 million, I think it is. So if we go over to that season, 26-27, 201 million pounds spent, ridiculous amounts. 96 million pounds spent on Jonathan Ikone, I think that's it, from Lille. I mean, these are the sort of players we want to see Newcastle spending money on, right? Really, really good. Not in Newcastle anymore, though. Only spending 4 seasons there. 3 seasons, sorry. Not even playing over 30 games. I mean, and they let him go out on a free. Newcastle, what are you doing? Newcastle, what are you doing? I mean, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They need someone in charge that's good with money, and that person is most definitely not me. I mean, had an okay first season, 10 goals in 24, but, I mean, we're talking like they need the money. They most definitely do not. Gregor Vidsmar from Domzale. Regen, he is, yeah. And then they bought Andre Almada from Dortmund, who I've never heard of. He's not there either. He's at Leicester for £38 million. He's been there for 4 years, selling him for 12 million, not playing over 30 games either. A bit part player for Newcastle. I love the fact they're in a position where they can spend 38 million pounds on a player and he's just a backup, just a backup. Then a lot of money on someone that I think is going to be very, very interesting to manage this year, because the amount of potential that he does have, is Liam Delap, who was at Leicester. They bought him for 66 million pounds. He left Manchester City for 25, and then Newcastle snapped him up for 66. And I mean, once again, not playing loads of games. He is still at Newcastle, and how old is he? He is 28. He hasn't been capped by England either, so he's probably going to be at Newcastle for a few more years. So if we go on to the next year, we'll have a look at where they finished. Like later on, we'll have a look through the transfers first. The next year, they spent £117 million. £61 million was spent on Patrick Neymar, is he a regen? I'm not too sure. He is a regen, and he's still at Newcastle. My word, he's very, very good. He's English as well. 36 caps, you love to see it. So he come through at Stoke. Clearly, he loves them cold Friday night at Stoke. Playing 36 games, 38 games his first season. So all the games in the Premier League, 36, 38, and 28. So for the first few seasons, he's playing a lot of games. Then they bought João Pedro from Tottenham. So Tottenham getting loads of money that year. He is at Everton. He only stayed for 3 years. Didn't play many games. Oh, no, so I'm looking at Tottenham. He was only there for 1 season. They did make a profit on him, though. 500k profit. He went to Juventus and now is on loan at Newcastle. Hannibal from Manchester United for £7 million, who... I mean, that is a bargain. My word. Wow. I mean, United, £7 million. Whoever's in charge of United needs sacking. And then they got Titas Krapikas from Atletico Pamplona. Danny Reeves from Blackburn. All of these starting to become regens. So that is... I mean, their lowest spending year was the year after this, where they spent £114 million. That brought in £56 million. Dennis Mann from Parma. I thought he'd be a regen. He's not there anymore. Dennis Mann. What a name, everyone. What a bloody name. Only there for 2 years. A lot of the players that Newcastle brought in over the past few years have not stayed there for too long. I don't think there's a single player that we looked at 5 years ago that's still here. I wonder if Sionchu's still here, actually. And then they brought in Matteo Ruggeri from PSG. Left back is still at Newcastle, as I talk about their loyalty. Dennis Ushen for 6 million, and then Prato from Elche. Once again, all of these are becoming regens. So the next year, my word, the highest spending year throughout this entire experiment. Right, this is gonna be fun, isn't it? £298 million spent. Oh my god. That is ridiculous. Wow. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, to be fair, they did sell £117 million worth of players. £64 million, Mohamed Simakan from Milan. He is still at Newcastle, and what a player he is. I mean, he's only came here a few years ago, so he's been there for 2 years. Not playing all the games either. Newcastle just got such good squad depth that they don't need to play one player all the time. And oh my god, Rasmus Nielsen. Oh my god, he is 61 million. I mean, that is a bargain. Holy, how will they not win the Premier League with him up top? He's got 13 finishing. Get rid of him. Get bloody rid of him. I mean, what? Holy smokes, that's ridiculous. Manuel Ugarte from Lazio. One of the very few players in real life that are probably playing in the save now. Once again, still at Newcastle, 30 years old. Simeon Pereira, striker, absolutely unbelievable. Ramiro for £39 million. Wilfred Singo for £31 million. And Dahlberg, a goalkeeper, for £11 million. I mean, what a transfer window. I mean, the highlight of this is this guy, innit? Like, he is absolutely insane. Only 25, 31 goals in 46. Absolutely insane stuff. Now, look, we have a look at the outs. I think this is going to be quite interesting. Frimpong left, Lamptey. St. Maximan's still there after 10 years. How old is St. Maximan now? 34 years old, and they still got 10 million for him. Very impressive. Alex Escobar going to Bayern Munich for 7.5 million, and then Barbosa and Livakovic. So some of the players that we've seen come into the club are now leaving. So the final year, here we go. They've spent, I think, is that about 200 million? I think they spent about 200 million again. 211 million pounds. Oh, I love this. Honestly, I absolutely love it. Right, let's have a look at who they brought in. Paulo from West Ham. Is he worth 51 million pounds? Am I being a little bit critical of this guy? I don't think he's worth 51 million pounds, if I'm honest. I mean, let me know what you think. Simeon Debase from Villarreal, 37 million pounds. Conor Gallagher at 31, bringing him in for 30 from Southampton. Did he stay at Crystal Palace? No, he stayed at Chelsea and went to Southampton, where Southampton have very much been yo-yoing over the past few years. Mason Mount, staying at Chelsea to the age of 31, I believe this will be. Or, yeah, it'll be 31. Coming in for £24 million. I mean, Mason Mount, Newcastle legend, everyone. Newcastle bloody legend. Alexandru Gurgley, goalkeeper, very, very good. Rodrigo Bentancur. It's the retirement home, ladies and gentlemen. Newcastle is the official retirement home. 33, he's come in. And then Federico Tazan as well from Racing Club on a free. And they also sold £153 million worth of players. Francisco Conceição going to Juventus. Dennis Man Shackleton going to Inter. Chukwueze going to Chelsea. All the players that they spent loads of money on are now being sold. So they're getting a little bit of money back. I mean, the past 2 years have been mental in terms of the players that they brought in and they have sold. Right, we're getting on to the fun stuff now, right? I mean, the transfers are interesting, but we want to see where they finished for the past 5 years. Have they won the Premier League? Please, please, please. Have they won the Premier League? Well, they haven't won the Premier League. Pep Guardiola's in charge. I mean, what? What? When did he get sacked from City? Did he get... Right. That's... right. Cool. So, this is now the Pep Guardiola experiment. He left City and went to Liverpool in the same year, where he's then gone to Newcastle. What's his contract? 165k a week. I'll be interested to see what the contract is of Nielsen, actually. 230k. It's great. So, in the year that we left, they finished in 6th place, I think it was. It was 6th place, right? And then they finished 8th, 7th, and 4th. So, it's been pretty poor. They actually did worse in the past, in 2 years. And then they finished 4th, got themselves Champions League. And then they finished 2nd this year behind Liverpool. Oh, my God. I mean, talk about unlucky. Wow. United finishing 10th. Tottenham in 4th. Norwich in 5th. Oh, my God. Right, so this was gone head-to-head, isn't it? Oh, it's because Liverpool beat them, right? Yeah, Liverpool beat them. Wait, no, Liverpool, they beat each other. So how did this work? Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how this worked, because Liverpool and Newcastle beat each other once. I've never seen that before. Same goal difference, same put. Oh my God, Newcastle, that is heartbreaking. Against Pep Guardiola's previous side as well. That is heartbreaking for Newcastle fans. They haven't won a Premier League, but have they won any European trophies? They won nothing. Right. They've not won. They won the Carabao Cup. No, they didn't. They've runner-up. Oh, no. They haven't won a single trophy. Oh, no. Newcastle. Newcastle, Newcastle, Newcastle. What are you doing? You haven't won a single trophy. Oh, poor Newcastle. I mean, we can't look at their finances, can we? No, I don't think we can look at their finances. What about facilities? Are they rich? I'm assuming they're probably still rich. I'd be surprised if they're not, but they finished 2nd. I mean, what I might do now, actually, I might holiday and see how long it actually takes them to win the Premier League. So, Newcastle fans, you might be waiting a little bit of a while. You're already potentially waiting until 2031 to finish 2nd and lose on goal difference. So, I can only apologise. But I'm going to holiday, and I'm going to see how long it takes them to actually win the Premier League. So, I'll be back in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, they have finally done it. Newcastle were Premier League champions in the year 2033-34. The disappointing thing is that they've only won 2 trophies throughout this entire experiment. The Premier League and the Carabao Cup, they are yet to get themselves any sort of European trophy. If we have a look at the competitions they have won, they've been runner-up a few times. They haven't been 3rd place. They've been runner-up 3 times during this experiment fairly recently. As we said, they won it in the year 2034. They haven't won the FA Cup. They haven't won the Euro Cup. They did win the Carabao Cup, as we mentioned. They've been a runner-up in that a few times as well. They're a runner-up in the Community Shield as well, but still no Champions League or any sort of European trophy. We'll have a quick look to see how they've been getting on the past few years in Europe. Have they got anywhere near? They got to the semi-final against Liverpool, where they lost last year. They got to the Euro Cup first knockout round. Then they got to the quarterfinal. So they are getting to against Liverpool again as well. Wow, Liverpool, Newcastle. Potentially a dynamic rivalry there, ladies and gentlemen. Is that the case? Should you have a quick look? Is there a dynamic rivalry? There is, yes. There's a Liverpool competitive rivalry there. Lost them twice in the 2 Champions League campaigns they've had fairly recently. But you'd expect Newcastle to win the Champions League in the next few years, considering that they are sort of like a top club. I would probably say in the Premier League as of now, like they are competing at the highest level. They finished second last year, fourth the year before, and they finished they finished second 2 years on the trot, fourth, won it, sixth, fourth, and second. And surprisingly, their manager's now Pochettino. I'm assuming that the trophy did come under Pep. Wow, they've had a lot of managers. The Guardiola, Zidane, Harper, Enrique, Harper, and Pochettino. Ridiculous amount of managers. But yeah, that is going to bring us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be alerted when these sort of videos are released. So thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.